Hey guys, this is Bezmor, and I've got a pretty sweet group PK video for you today. Somebody was like, hey look, there's a bunch of Voltage and Gold Diggers at Westgate fighting, and then Karma's like, show them how it's done, you know what I'm saying? So we got our little squad here. I think we got like, what, 8 people? I know one of those guys is a buffer, so it might actually be 7 for now. But anyways, we got out, we get in the air, and a lot of us were a little bit out of it because we weren't like ready to just like jump into PK, but I immediately targeted the Vino, but unfortunately there was only one other ranged, like true range DD right now, so nobody was assisting me at the time because I think they were going for clerics is what our sins were doing, which I mean that's, you know, it's not a bad choice, but I was trying to stay on the Vino because it was like, this is going to be a problem if we all lose our buffs. So because the Vino is full buffed and we don't have a purge and I don't have a way to purge, I decided to go ahead and diminished vigor so that I get the best chance to kill the Vino. But she reacted by dropping me to the ground, which is pretty smart, except that it only lasts for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, and then I just get straight back up into the air and start flying back. Now on the way back, I was going to get back on the Vino, but I got an assist call from the wizard to go on this BM, and I knew like, that BM's pretty squishy, we can probably just insta-kill them really quickly. So right here, immediately switch to the BM, wipe them out, and then go back to the Vino. And here I saw that the Vino was headed towards my cleric, but there's really nothing I could do because I wasn't in cast range. So I just chased after them, and right now I'm like, guys, kill Vino, please, don't want to lose buffs. And as you can see now, I've got some assist going on, and so we're going to try and get this Vino out of the situation because obviously Vinos are just dumb. You know, they do a lot. And at this point, it's kind of like there's not a good target because there's so many, like, not good targets to pick from, so I was just like, I'm just gonna hit this guy. And then I heard somebody say something in vent, and so I looked over, saw the cleric, and then, oh look, there's sins, which in my mind is like free kills. So I was like, I got this. Wipe one sin and then see the next sin. So I was gonna go on the other one that was actually attacking her, but then he AD'd, so I was like, alright, I'll get this one. But then they triple spark, so then I go back to the AD one, and he does what sins do, which is splat. Teleport to psychic. Nice job. Mission accomplished? Question mark. But anyways, one thing that I find is really important in group PK is just target selection and dynamic decision making. Like right here, I'm getting sorted by somebody, but I don't even know who. So what I'm just doing is trying to find a good target to go on. But the thing is, in group PK like this, like there's the best possible target in terms of just how to be effective in the fight, and then there's a situationally good target. So right here, what I did, I saw the BM, no buffs. Why are we all hitting a jaded +11 barb when there's a self-buffed BM that we could wipe? Because in all honesty, Dragon Rise out of a BM for 7 seconds is a lot more annoying than a barb who has a chance at knocking you on the ground for only like 2 seconds. But I decided instead of staying after that BM because no one was going to assist me on it, I go back to the barb because the idea is if we all commit to that barb despite the +11 in Jades, it doesn't really matter. He's still going to die. And so this is what I'm talking about in a situation, sometimes making a suboptimal play, as long as everybody makes that play together, is actually more effective than making the optimal play. Now, it's of course when you have the opportunity to be optimal, go for it. So I hit the ground, what do? I look for an archer, not only an archer with no buffs. Like, my wizard was like, hey, hit this barb, because he was just going all in with EP, but I was like, no, this archer is really going to do more in this fight than this barb. So I wanted to stay on the archer. Of course, granted, the archer then blew his APOS, so I was like, alright, well, now I can help you with the barb, but he's just going to like sit there wasting his time. So I was like, you know what, gonna go back to other things. But then there wasn't really much to do, so I tried to stun him to keep him off people. That didn't go so well. And again, there were some other people calling targets in vent, so I'm kind of like looking, but again, not much to do. And now we have a good opportunity to hit this barb because this time he doesn't have full buff, so it's kind of like, well, we can just kill a jaded barb, it really doesn't matter. But here, archer, obviously a more important target, and the BM and the wizard are already on top of it, so it's like, yeah, get on that, drop him. Here, I saw the cleric on the side and was like, hey guys, look over here, assist. But then somebody else was like, called an assist on a blade master, which is kind of like, well, the cleric's gonna keep the, you know, in theory, they would rebuff and heal and purify, so it's like the optimal choice was kill the cleric, but they were already on the BM, and so really it's just a situation of like, you need to be able to react in a proper way to the situation at hand, which means sometimes it may not be the best target, but you need to commit to it. And that's a really common mistake I see with a lot of different guilds and group PK, even Karma, like we're terrible at group PK, we're just not as terrible as everybody else. So anyways, another issue with group PK is that people will consistently not be willing to commit to the carries. And what I mean by that, that's kind of borrowing from MOBA phrasing, but the idea is that in PK, there's some people who are good, and there's some people who just aren't as good. And the truth of the matter is, if you just like turn and blow the heck out of the strongest person on the enemy team and drop them out of the fight, that's huge because they're probably doing a large portion of the work if they're that good at their class or something, right? And people are like, oh, we shouldn't focus him. He's too tanky or he's got too many survivals. And I was literally in the middle of a PK session and there was one guy on the other team doing damage, but he was a fully geared seeker. And so I was like, guys, let's just kill him. The other people aren't going to kill us. We can take our time, blow this guy away, and then it's going to be cake from there. And what did we do? We focused him and it's like, oh, he burned AD. Okay. 5 seconds later, oh, he burned his IG. Okay. And then right at that point, they're like, oh, this is taking too long, we should switch targets. And I was like, no, you don't understand. We just blew all his survival cooldowns and now you want to change to a new target? Like, that's the time when you have to stay on the hard targets. And it's like, you just wasted 30 seconds of the fight killing one person. But if that's the one person that's actually making a difference, it's actually worth it. So as you can see, we kind of wiped that first round. We had our sins died and that was it. So we decided to hang around and see what would happen in round 2. And it was pretty similar in terms of a story. Now what you're going to see here is that the other thing about playing a psychic, but also any class in general, is just playing around being purged properly. Now here, they opened the fight with the Vino came in on a summon, which was, you know, like, oh, well that's dumb, because nobody else kind of showed up at the same time. And so we're all kind of like, well, let's kill the Vino, because it's like, why not? But I'm going to get purged here anyways. Now what happens, at this point, the rest of his team is starting to show up. So I immediately used White Voodoo. I put a stunning up in case somebody's trying to like get a quick hit in to like insta-give me, because if they get stunned for like 12 seconds then it's like, well, you're definitely not going to kill me. Now I have the Demon Bell active right now, so I'm not really concerned, but I don't have full buffs and I don't really have too much support right now, so I'm staying in White Voodoo, just playing it safe, even though I do have Genie cooldown, I do have Apoth cooldown, but this is just like, I know if I go black with just BM buff, there's a chance that 2 or more people focusing me at the wrong time could go very badly. And as you can see, the Mystic was hitting me, but I think they might have maybe just stunned themselves. I'm not sure. But the Mystic stopped, and at this point I was like, okay, I Bubble of Life, and I have both Apoth and Genie cooldown. I'm going to go black, and I'm going to go ham, because in all honesty, it's like, if nobody's on me, nobody's pressuring me, I can do damage. And I'm getting cleric buffs right now anyways, so it's perfectly justified. In here, I look to kill stuff, and I'm not looking for killing the best target, I'm looking at who can I kill. And who can I kill is the people that I have 2 teammates assisting. A Barb and an Assassin put together, plus a Psychic, that's going to drop like pretty much anything we decide to go on. So when I saw my Sin and Barb attacking, I was like, whatever they're hitting, I don't care what it is, I'm going to hit that as well. And granted, like in between the kills, I try to find a good target and say, hey guys, let's go for this person. But it's not as important as just working together at the end of the day. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, right? So your target selection and playing around the purge correctly. Like right now, I'm missing only Barb buff. I have both cooldowns. It's pretty safe for me to do things here. And I knew that Psychic just rezzed on the left there, and I knew that they burned their Apoth. So I said in Vent, like, hey, that Psychic has no cooldowns, and they just rezzed. Free kill. And then I saw them go to white, and I was going to turn and kill them, but I was like, they're in White Voodoo. They're going to do like next to nothing. I'm going to get back on the target that my Barb's on and help him get that kill, because it's easier for me to help a Barb kill somebody than it is to kill somebody who's sitting in White Voodoo. And now that Psychic went to Black Voodoo and they don't have buffs. That's mistake number 1. Why? Because they're about to just get wrecked by a Barb, or 2 Barbs plus 1 hit from me. But that's why when you're not buffed, you do not just go black and go ham unless you know nobody's going to focus you. But when there's 3 enemies around you and you don't see any friends, like that is not when you go black. So here we're just going through picking off targets again, and it's pretty straightforward. The second round was pretty much like the first. It was a face roll too. The third round was a little bit different because they decided to get a BM, which changed the dynamic a little bit, but not too much. So I'll show you how that one went. But I mean, really, having group PvP like this, the way to win it is focusing together. Like 2 people on one target is 20 times stronger than 2 really good DDs on 2 other targets. It's just, there's no way that you're going to out damage 2 people with 1. And so even if you think you're on the best target, you need to try and have a shot caller who you can all listen to and all try to focus on. And on top of that, the thing is, it's not just about having the shot caller that has the experience to make the right decisions and the right calls. Everyone has to follow up, but the people who are not the primary shot caller also should listen and put in their input. Like say, oh look, that Vino is back. we should focus that Vino, because your primary shot callers might be tunnel visioned on what's nearest to them and what they can get kills on quickly, whereas they might not notice that a Vino's coming back out or a Sin just popped out of stealth. So you need to feed that information into your audio channel or your chat or whatever, so that everyone has the best opportunity to do the right decisions. So this is the third fight. The BM engages, and our initial reaction is, well, the rest of the people are going to be slow coming in. Let's just give the BM like straight up, because it's like, why not? And right here, he immediately used his belief skill, which was actually the reason we weren't able to get the kill. So it kind of worked in his favor, but at the same time, he blew a really big Junie cooldown and then went into a Blade Tornado, so it's like, that wasn't really, like, effective. And here, I see, well, everyone was hitting that barb really hard, so they're like, are you sure he's Jade? So I was checking if he's Jade's. But anyways, I'm going back on the BM because at this point I was like, I don't really hear anybody calling a good target. I don't really see any good targets yet. Right now I just saw the Vino, which is why I assisted off the BM. Now I'm on the Vino. Notice that they're apothing, and this is why I love Sage Psychic. You walk up, I notice my friends are Nova'd, immediately purify, the BM bells so that people aren't getting nuked by stuff, and then we go straight back onto the Vino and just start killing them, because that's what you gotta do. Pretty straightforward, really, and I think that Vino already blew their Apoth cooldown. So at this point it's just kind of like, you notice nobody is pressuring me really. I'm not getting focused by anything right now. And the last 2 rounds, I've only ever gotten focused by like a random guy trying to purge me, and one barb decided to hit me. And I saw those 2 heavy armors running straight for me, and I was like, hold up, this doesn't look good, which is why I preemptively Psychic Will. Now preemptively using certain skills like that seems wasteful when it doesn't end up coming your way, the hate I mean, but at the same time, it's possible that it could have been a big deal, because the problem is, say I Psychic Will after I've been ticked and then I got hit really hard and so I'm at like 30% HP, I Psychic Will and then some magic user just comes by and goes, pop, there you go, you're dead through Psychic Will, have a nice day, sucks to be you. But by preemptively doing it, my charm never ticks in the first place. All I did was trade a 20-second cooldown and 1 spark, which is, I have plenty of chi, so it's not like that's a big issue. And then it puts me in a better position, because say they Roar of the Pride me off of that, then I still have Expel to go on top after that. So here, I kind of decided to 1v1 the Barb, because I was like, let's see what a Jade Barb can take. That was a dumb idea, but, we were kind of winning, so I was maybe a little bit trolling. This is like hashtag don't do what I do, because you'll die. So don't play Psychic like Bezmor. Play Psychic like Bezmor says. Much better option. But here, this guy's just sorting me, and I've got a Sin on me. So what I was saying in Vent at this point was, look, I burned my Psychic Will cooldown. I have Genie, but I'm telling my team I might be in danger. And I was telling that 10 seconds ago. So as you notice, I was already getting Iron-Hearted. So right here, the Cleric's already got an idea of my situation when the Purge finally does proc. And here I'm like, holy cow, burning my Genie. And at this point, it's like, okay, I don't have Will quite back up yet. I don't have Genie, and I might get stunned off this anyways. So I was telling my team, like, now I really need help, please. And here, because I saw that immediate, and you see what happens when I get purged, the BM, instead, like, he was ignoring me the whole fight, and then suddenly he's like, oh, Bezmor's purged, let's go on that guy and kill him immediately. But I zero hesitation dropped the Apoth, because it's like, yeah, it's a big cooldown, but it's like, right now, I could probably die if I don't do something. So I did, and then I go into White Voodoo Psychic Will, so that even on the backside of the Apoth, there's no way they're going to kill me. And now I have Demon Bell buff on me. And even though I'm standing in the middle of the fight, it really doesn't matter. I have Bell, plus I have Heal, plus I have White Voodoo up. So I'm not really worried about dying. And as you can see, they're still trying to kill me. And their mistake was they really grouped up to do that. So what happens? The BM runs in, roars their whole group, and the wizard drops a Mountain Seize. It's like, you guys tunnel visioned on a purge target, were unsuccessful in actually committing to it and getting it, and as a result, you kind of grouped up and got kind of screwed over for it. And here again, I think this is what, the second? I've been purged twice tonight, but I'm already full buffs. Well, yeah, I'm full buffs. So I'm not really concerned. I go straight back to black. I notice my Genie's up, so I'm pretty safe at this point anyways. And that's just like, you gotta see when you're purged, like, do not hesitate, because when a Psychic gets into White Voodoo and still has their seal buff up, you're really, oh, there's another purge. You're really not in danger, right? Like, it's like, I've got like 100 something defense levels. Like, you're really not scaring me right now. I've got Fizzy Munes coming up in a few seconds. So when you get the purge, dropping your Apoth just so that you can get into white and then survive for a little bit, as long as you have a team that's willing to support you, you're gonna be fine at the end of the day. So blowing your big cooldowns is worthwhile. And there I AD'd just because I noticed that the archer opened on me with Will Surge, and I was like, I don't feel like dying to that today. And again, I kind of knew at this point that we had pretty much won the fight. We had killed most of them, and it was like, yeah, I don't think they're going to win this. So I was like, I can blow my APOF cooldown without much hesitation. Or I mean, my AD cooldown, and just be okay with that. So as you can see, it was a pretty clean PK, at least on my part. I think most of my squad did pretty good. And you know, just you'll see that like I got purged like 3 times, and I'm pretty sure quite a few of my teammates also got purged, but not as many deaths as you would think. So overall, pretty clean PK. I thought it went well, and I wanted to share that with you guys and explain some of how you can make your group PK more effective, more efficient, and wreck some scrubs. So yeah, if you got a comment, leave it. I'll read it. If you call me an asshole, I'll read it and ignore it. So why bother? No, I'm just kidding. People don't really leave hate comments on my videos anymore. They just leave, I'm mad that you made me look bad comments. But anyways, yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them there. Otherwise, I guess I will